Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and thanks for watching. Just doing a quick video explaining a bit of my history in collecting and showing off one of the first things I started collecting when I did start collecting. Um, so I've always been a Marvel DC fan and loved all things, the shows, toys, statues, figures, as you can see behind me. But I have a bit of OCD when it comes to collecting, and I like to have things completed, and that's why I stayed away from comics for a long time. Um, then I started collecting in 2017 after a trip to America when I attended a show at Wizard World in Philadelphia, and just seeing the amount of comics and things that were available there just got me started on collecting. So, um, the collection I'm going to show off today isn't completed, but it is one of the first things I started when I did start getting books, and it's anything to do with Marvel DC crossovers. Uh, some of these books have minimal reason to be considered a crossover, but they are listed on CLZ Key Collector as crossovers. There's 69 main books on that list trying to get, and I've got a decent chunk of them, and I'm going to show them now. So, first book up I've shown before, Justice League versus Avengers reprint, which is limited to 1 in 7,000 copies. Next up, we have Teen Titans #1, which was written by longtime X-Men writer Scott Lobdell, and the opening scene in this book is a mission in Westchester where it looks like a mansion, like Xavier's mansion, is burning to the ground. Next up, we have The Incredible Hulk 418, which has a cameo appearance of Death of the Endless from DC/Vertigo's Sandman books. Next up, we have Batman vs. Superman book. So this book has an appearance of Deadpool made to look a lot more like Wade Slade, Deathstroke, but every time Deadpool goes to announce himself, Slade violently silences him. And it's a pretty cool cover. As you can see, you got Deadpool looking like Slade there in the bottom. Okay, next book we have is Infinity Countdown Prime, which has a cameo appearance of Shazam, but he's only partially seen, but they do say it's part of the crossover. Next up, we have Uncanny X-Men 98, which has an unofficial crossover of a reporter named Clark Kent, who appears in over 20 times in Marvel Comics. After that, we have Kassar 58, which is the second appearance of the Flash in the Marvel Universe. Then we have Marvel 1000, which has a Batman cameo in it. Okay, this book I really couldn't find any information on, but it is a free preview for the DC versus Marvel Comics crossover. Now we're getting into the books with crossovers of the characters. So first up we have Batman Captain America crossover. So this is Batman and Captain America teaming up to take on Joker and the Red Skull. This isn't the official book of this book, but it is a reprint, and it's the Batman and Hulk. Then next up we have Batman and Punisher. So this is the first crossover book between these two. And we also have the second crossover book, which teams up Punisher and Batman versus Jigsaw and the Joker. And we have Batman v Spider-Man. This one has Ra's al Ghul and Kingpin teaming up against them too. Next up we have Green Lantern and Silver Surfer, and they are teaming up against Thanos and Parallax. This is a really cool cover. Then we have another Batman Spider-Man book, and this one has them going up against Carnage and the Joker. A lot of the DC Marvel crossover books include Batman and Joker. Okay, now we're getting into the big crossover, which was the JLL versus the Avengers. These were literally the first books I got when I got in the crossovers. So that's book number 1. We have book number 2. Book number 3. I also have book number 4, but I don't have it at the moment because it was sent off to America in January in the hopes of getting signed by George Perez, but the signing ended up getting cancelled, and obviously we know what happened. Just waiting for it to be sent back. Okay, next book we have in the run is the Uncanny X-Men versus the Teen Titans. This is 2 of my favorite teams and 2 of the biggest sets that I'm trying to complete. So when I found out about this book, I had to get it straight away, and it's absolutely awesome artwork in this book, and I'm glad to have it in my collection. Now the next books, wouldn't exactly call them Marvel DC crossovers, but I'm also a big Stan Lee collector, and I've got some of his Just Imagine Stan Lee's doing DC characters. So first off we have The Secret Files, which just is a bit of a lead up into these stories. Next up we have Infinity Crisis, or Crisis, sorry, Stan Lee's Crisis. The Flash, Green Lantern, the JLL, we have Robin, Sandman, Superman, Shazam, Wonder Woman, and another Wonder Woman. I'm missing a few books in this set, which are becoming very hard to find here in Australia. So hopefully I will get the set completed eventually. Okay, next up we have the Almagag books, which is the merging of Marvel characters and DC characters. I read a few of these books and there's a very interesting take on some of the characters. But first up we have the Amazons, which is Wonder Woman and Storm. The next book in this set is The Assassins. We have Bat-Thing. One of my favorite ones in the crossovers is Bruce Wayne, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is a Nick Fury and Bruce Wayne mashup. We have Bracelets and Bullets, which is a Punisher and Black Canary, if I remember right. Challenges of the Fantastic. I haven't read this one yet. The big one and probably the hardest book to find out of them all is Dark Claw Adventures, which is Batman, Wolverine, and I think another character mashed together. We have Doctor Strange Fate. Then there's Generation Hex. Another cool concept in a crossover, Iron Man and Green Lantern. Then we have the JLX, which if I'm right is the Justice League and the X-Men crossed over. And we have JLX Unleashed. We have another Dark Claw, Legends of the Dark Claw. This one I haven't read yet either, but I can see it being very interesting, having Lobo and Howard the Duck crossed over. Next up we have Magneto and the Magnetic Men. And then there's the Magnetic Men and Magneto. I have read this one and this was a very, very interesting concept, having Speed Demon, which is Ghost Rider, and the Flash crossing over. We have Spider-Boy. And then we have Spider-Boy Team Up. We have Super Soldier, which is pretty much Superman and Captain America. Then we have Super Soldier Man of War. Next up we have Thorion of the New Asgards. The all new, all different X-Patrol. And the last one in that run is the exciting X-Patrol. The next books up in the collection is DC versus Marvel, which was a 4-issue crossover. This is the first crossover that is in Marvel and DC's continuity, meaning that the events that happen in these books is part of mainstream history for both universes. So as you can see, these books contain a lot of the characters from both universes. So number 2. Number 3, there is some really big battles in these books of some of the mainstream characters from both universes. And number 4, Next up we have DC Marvel All Access, which is the second official crossover. And in number 1 you have Big Battle, which is Superman versus Venom. Number 2. In number 3 you have Batman defeats Marvel Scorpion. And on the final page of the book you have the X-Men appear as a full team confronted by the JLL. And number 4, which is the ending of that series. And the last 4 books I have, which I really couldn't find much information on, is Unlimited Access, which is another Marvel DC crossover. And there is 4 books in this set. Book number 3. And we have book number 4. There's one last book that I have that is missing from this video, which is Silver Surfer Superman. I sent that book off as well with the JLL versus Avengers book, which I should be getting back soon. There is, like I said, 69 key books in this Marvel DC crossover. I'm missing a few and I've been looking for them. They're all minor crossovers with slight appearances of characters or single panels of characters, but it is a run of books that I would like to complete. Let me know if you have this run complete or have some of the other books that weren't shown in here and what the appearances are like. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, click the like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thank you.